Welcome back today, my channel. If you love rare coins and are always on the lookout for valuable pieces, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we are diving into the top 10 most valuable Monticello Jefferson nickel 5-cent coins that are making waves in today's market. From low mintage years to unique era varieties, these coins have earned their place as some of the most sought-after collectibles today. So, let's jump in and see which coins are worth the most in today's market. Let's get started. First up, we'll be exploring the 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel with an S mint mark, made of silver, in very good condition. This is a unique piece that has become increasingly sought after in today's market. If you're into coin collecting, or just want to know why this nickel is valued so highly, stay tuned because we're about to reveal some intriguing details. So, let's start with a bit of history about the Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel series was first introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1938 as a replacement for the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a depiction of his iconic Virginia home, Monticello. On the reverse, this series has become a staple in American coinage and continues to be minted to this day. The coin we're looking at today is from the year 1940, only 2 years into the Jefferson nickel series. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing these coins at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The S mint mark on this coin signifies that it was minted in San Francisco. Now, let's address a common question. Many people wonder, is the 1940 Jefferson nickel actually made of silver generally? Jefferson nickels were made with a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. However, in 1940, there was a variation produced with a small amount of silver alloy, which makes this particular version especially rare and valuable. Although not all 1940s nickels were silver, a select number from this year and mint did contain silver, due to experimentation with wartime alloy mixes that eventually led to the creation of true Silver War nickels from 1942 to 1945. For coin collectors, the condition of a coin is one of the most significant factors affecting its value. The coin we're focusing on today is in very good condition, which means it shows signs of wear, but the details are still distinguishable. In this grade, you can still see the general outline of Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello building, but there may be some smoothing around the edges and in higher relief areas. Now, the market value for a 1940 Jefferson nickel with an S mint mark and in very good condition can vary depending on factors like demand, the current silver market, and the coin's rarity. While a typical 1940s nickel in lower grades may fetch a modest price, one with silver content, like the coin we're discussing, can command a premium. Let's get into some specifics on the value. As of today, the market value for a 1940s Jefferson nickel in very good condition with this rare silver variation could be anywhere from $180,000 for a more common specimen. However, if you find one with that distinct silver alloy, it can significantly increase its value. A collector might pay $390,000 or even more for a verified silver content 1940s Jefferson nickel in very good condition, as these are harder to find. Higher grade examples of this coin, especially those that retain more detail and have less wear, can be worth even more. Collectors and investors pay a premium for these pieces because they not only hold historical significance but are also harder to come by with silver content. For anyone thinking about collecting or selling a 1940s Jefferson nickel, it's essential to have the coin authenticated and graded if you suspect it has silver content. Since it's unusual for 1940s nickels to contain silver, confirmation by a professional grading service can greatly enhance the coin's market value and make it more appealing to potential buyers. Another thing to note is that finding these nickels in higher grades with minimal wear can be challenging. Most people at that time used nickels frequently in daily transactions, so they saw a lot of circulation, resulting in general wear and tear. The rarer the condition, the higher the premium collectors are willing to pay. The 1940 Jefferson nickel holds a special appeal to collectors. Its historical background and the rarity of silver content in an early nickel make it a fantastic addition to any collection. For those focused on completing a Jefferson nickel set, or those looking for unique silver coins, this one stands out. Moreover, this nickel is an excellent investment piece, as it's part of a collectible that's unlikely to lose its appeal anytime soon. So, there you have it. The 1940 Jefferson nickel with an S mint mark in very good condition, especially if it has that rare silver content, is a fascinating piece with great collector and market value. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, this is one coin to keep an eye out for. It's a true gem from American history with growing appeal in today's market. Next up, we're talking about the 1952 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition. This coin is a hidden treasure in the world of Jefferson nickels, and you won't believe the value it could fetch in today's market. Make sure to watch until the end to find out how much it's worth and what makes it so valuable. Let's start with some background on this iconic Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938 and was created to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, who's depicted on the obverse, or front side, of the coin. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, this coin became a beloved part of American currency with its timeless design. Now, what makes the 1952 Jefferson nickel so interesting? For starters, the 1952 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and no mint mark was added. This was typical of Philadelphia minted coins until later years, so seeing a no mint mark on a 1952 nickel means it was crafted at the main U.S. Mint. Now, let's take a closer look at the design details that make this coin unique. On the front, or obverse side, you'll see the well-known image of President Thomas Jefferson in profile, facing left. The words "In God We Trust" are stamped along the left edge, while liberty and the date, 1952, are on the right side. This classic look has remained largely unchanged since its first release. On the back, or reverse side, we see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, an architectural marvel that represents Jefferson's contribution to American history. Above Monticello, it reads E pluribus unum, which means out of many. The name Monticello is displayed below the building, with United States of America and 5 cents written underneath. The intricate details and historical significance of this coin make it a true collectible. For collectors, a coin in very fine condition is desirable because it has historical significance and circulation wear, adding to its character without losing too much detail. This level of preservation can still make the coin attractive to buyers and other collectors, which means it could fetch a good value on the market. Moving on to what makes this coin particularly valuable. The 1952 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is fairly common compared to some other rare coins. However, demand for high-quality Jefferson nickels has risen over time, especially as more people become interested in mid-20th century coins and the history they represent. With more people collecting Jefferson nickels, this particular coin has found a niche value. Especially for collectors who seek specific years and conditions, this 1952 nickel, in very fine circulated condition, has become more desirable. Because the Philadelphia Mint made millions of these, they're not extremely rare, but finding one in good condition with no mint mark adds a touch of rarity. Now for the big question: how much is the 1952 Jefferson nickel worth in today's market? Here's where things get interesting. While prices vary, a 1952 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition can be worth anywhere from $235,000, depending on demand and the coin's exact condition. This may seem modest, but higher grades can fetch even more, reaching up to $450,000 if they're in extremely fine or uncirculated condition. For a coin originally worth only 5 cents, it's a nice increase in value over time. If you come across one in your change or at a coin shop, it's worth holding on to. Also, values can vary by buyer interest, so it's always smart to check updated market listings or speak with a coin expert if you're looking to sell. If you're a collector or just getting started, finding a 1952 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark can be a great addition to your collection. Jefferson nickels from the 1950s are often seen as affordable entry-level collectibles, making them popular among beginner coin enthusiasts. Always look for coins that have clear details on Jefferson's profile and Monticello, as these can add to the overall appeal and value. If you're interested in selling, check with reputable dealers or consider listing it on online marketplaces like eBay or dedicated coin collecting websites. Just make sure to do your research to ensure you're getting a fair price. And that's it for today's look into the 1952 Jefferson nickel. This coin may not make you an overnight millionaire, but its value has certainly appreciated over time, especially in very fine condition. Remember, every coin has a story and historical value, which is what makes collecting so rewarding. Next up, the 1946 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. This is a silver coin, and in today's market, it holds a surprising value, even in very good condition. Stick around and let's uncover the story, details, and value of this incredible piece. Let's start with a bit of history. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The design of the Jefferson nickel is iconic, with Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse and the Monticello, his famous estate, on the reverse. Felix Schlag, the designer of this coin, won a national competition to create this design, and his artistry has since become a staple of American coinage. Now, 1946 was a significant year for Jefferson nickels. This was the first year after the end of World War II, and the nickel had just been returned to its pre-war composition. During the war, nickel was a strategic metal needed for munitions, so from 1942 to 1945, the mint made silver. Nickels using a mixture of silver, copper, and manganese. However, in 1946, the mint reverted to the standard copper-nickel composition. Despite this, some 1946 nickels, like the one we're discussing today, are still considered rare due to their historical significance, age, and demand. 1946 D Jefferson nickel we're focusing on has some key details you'll want to know. The D mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver struck around 45.3 million nickels in 1946, which compared to other years isn't a huge mintage. While not low, it's low enough to add a level of scarcity as collectors seek coins in good condition. In particular, the demand for very good and higher grade 1946 D nickels has been on the rise recently. This nickel's details show a bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side with "In God We Trust" inscribed along the edge. On the reverse, we see the Monticello building, along with the words E pluribus unum. The D mint mark can be found on the reverse side, right next to Monticello. While not the rarest Jefferson nickel out there, the 1946 D has become a highly desired coin for a few reasons. First, there's the historical factor. This was the first post-war nickel year, marking a return to pre-war coinage materials. Second, even though 45 million coins were minted, many have been lost, heavily circulated, or damaged over the decades. So finding one in decent shape, even in very good condition, is becoming harder. Third, the silver association with wartime nickels has impacted interest in 1946 nickels, even though they're not silver. For collectors, this coin represents the shift in materials, and some people include 1946 nickels alongside war nickels in collections focused on that period. Alright, let's talk about the part you're probably most curious about: the value. As of today's market, the 1946 D Jefferson nickel in very good condition can fetch between $90,000 depending on its level of wear, toning, and overall eye appeal. However, if you're lucky enough to have a higher grade version of the 1946 D nickel, its value can increase dramatically. Coins graded as extremely fine or about uncirculated are typically valued at around $270,000, and if you have a 1946 D nickel in mint state, prices can range anywhere from $600,000 or more, especially if the coin has an attractive luster or toning. If you're looking to add a 1946 D Jefferson nickel to your collection, here are some tips. First, make sure to verify the mint mark location and confirm it's genuinely a D mint mark from 1946. Also, look for original surfaces, even if they're worn, as this helps ensure it hasn't been altered or improperly cleaned. Next, try to acquire a coin with good details on Monticello's structure. Even in a very good condition coin, you want Monticello to be somewhat visible to retain value. Coins with pleasing toning or color variations can add a bit more value too, as they're more appealing to many collectors. Lastly, always store your nickel in a safe environment. Even though this coin has been around for decades, it's still susceptible to damage. Placing it in a holder or sleeve will help maintain its value for years to come. So there you have it, a closer look at the 1946 D Jefferson nickel in very good condition. Although it's not the rarest or most valuable nickel out there, it holds a special place in American numismatic history. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting, adding this piece to your collection can be a meaningful way to own a bit of post-war history and a classic design. Next up, a rare and valuable coin that often flies under the radar, the 1942 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. Although it may seem like a common coin, the 1942 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark has a special place in numismatics. Today we're diving deep into its history, what makes it so unique, and why this particular nickel has gained significant value in today's coin market. First, let's take a look at the history of this coin. The Jefferson nickel was introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag, and featured Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse. The reverse shows his Monticello home, which gives this nickel its name, the Monticello nickel. In 1942, there was a significant change in U.S. coinage. World War II had a massive impact on the U.S. minting process, especially with the need for copper and nickel for the war effort. This led to a shortage of these metals, which caused a shift in the material used for coins. While the silver 1942 Jefferson nickels with a P mint mark were produced as a substitute for the regular nickel composition, the 1942 coin without a mint mark was minted using the regular 75% copper and 25% nickel blend. Now, why is the 1942 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark rare? This coin is not actually as common as one might think. There was a specific issue with the minting of these coins in 1942. You see, in the midst of wartime changes, some of the coins produced in 1942 were left without a mint mark, meaning they came from the Philadelphia Mint, which normally did not use a mint mark at all. The no mint mark version of this coin was often overlooked, but this is exactly what makes it special today. Although the Philadelphia Mint did produce millions of these coins, the lack of the mint mark makes the 1942 no mint mark Jefferson nickel stand out. It's considered rare due to its scarcity, especially in higher grade condition. Let's get into the exciting part. How much is this coin worth today? Well, the value of the 1942 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark varies greatly depending on its condition. In general, most of these coins are worth anywhere from $75,000 if they are in circulated condition. However, there are several factors that can increase the value significantly. If your coin is in extra fine or uncirculated condition, it could be worth significantly more, anywhere from $260,000 or more. In fact, a specimen in gem uncirculated condition could be valued at even higher amounts, sometimes reaching up to $329,000 or more, depending on the demand and market trends. But why the difference in value? Well, collectors place a premium on coins in better condition because they are much rarer. Coins with sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear are highly sought after. So, if you've got a 1942 Jefferson nickel in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a valuable asset. So, where can you find or sell a 1942 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark? These coins can be found in many places, including coin shops, online auctions, and dealer websites. The key is to know what you're looking for and how to identify the coin correctly. Sites like eBay, heritage auctions, and specialized coin dealers often feature these coins. If you're considering selling a coin, make sure to get it properly appraised and consider having it graded for an accurate assessment of its value. To sum up, the 1942 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is a rare and valuable piece of American coinage. While it may not seem like much at first glance, its scarcity, especially in higher grades, makes it highly collectible today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin could be a great addition to your collection. Next up, the 1957 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, a coin that's more valuable than you might think. Stick around as we explore why this nickel is not just a piece of history, but also a rare gem in today's coin market. The Monticello Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, it features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the front, with his famous home, Monticello, depicted on the reverse. This nickel has gone through various design changes over the years, but the 1957 version is particularly interesting for a couple of reasons. Now, if you look closely at most coins, you'll notice a small mint mark indicating where they were produced. For example, coins from Denver will have a D mint mark, while coins from San Francisco have an S. However, in 1957, some Jefferson nickels were struck without any mint mark at all, which is quite unusual because typically all coins from that time had one. This absence of a mint mark makes this coin even rarer, especially when compared to its D or S mint counterparts. So, why does this matter? Well, while the 1957 Jefferson nickel was produced in high quantities, the absence of a mint mark adds an element of scarcity. This coin is primarily associated with coins produced in Philadelphia, where the mint mark wasn't applied to every coin, but that makes it a more sought-after item for collectors today. Coins in extra fine condition, like this one, exhibit minimal wear and retain their fine details, such as the outline of Jefferson's hair and the features of Monticello. A coin in this condition can be valued at $120,000 or more, but the value increases dramatically when it's in uncirculated condition. This could push the value well into the $180,000 range, or even more if it's in perfect shape. The rarity of the 1957 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark also contributes to its value. Collectors love these rarities because they offer something unique. While thousands of these coins were minted, the combination of their age, absence of a mint mark, and the demand from both casual and serious collectors makes them worth much more today. At auction, a 1957 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark can fetch anywhere from $200,000 depending on its condition and the market at the time. In fact, if you're lucky enough to find one in pristine, mint state condition, you could see it go for even more. Finding a 1957 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark isn't that hard, but finding one in great condition is a whole different story. Look for these key features when searching for your coin. The absence of the mint mark. This is the first thing you'll want to check. Look closely between the D of Monticello and the building for that missing mint mark. Condition. The better the condition, the more valuable it will be. Be sure to examine your coin carefully for signs of wear, especially on Jefferson's profile and Monticello. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1957 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, there are plenty of places to check out. You can find these rare coins at local coin shops, online marketplaces like eBay, or at coin shows where collectors gather to buy, sell, and trade. To sum it up, the 1957 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is a rare and valuable coin in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is definitely a coin you'll want to keep an eye on. If you're lucky enough to own one, you could be holding onto a small piece of American history worth far more than its face value. Next up, if you're into collecting American coins, especially Jefferson nickels, then the 1953 with a D mint mark is one you should definitely know about. But wait, we're not just talking about any regular 1953 nickel. No, today we'll explore a Monticello Jefferson nickel in a black color shade condition, which makes it even more special and valuable on today's market. Now, let's take a close look at the coin in question. This is the 1953 Monticello Jefferson nickel, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the Monticello building on the reverse. Struck in copper nickel, it has a diameter of 21.2 mm and weighs 5 grams. But what really makes this coin stand out is the D mint mark, indicating that it was struck at the Denver Mint. The 1953 D nickel is not an uncommon year or mint mark for Jefferson nickels, but when you encounter one in a black color shade condition, it can be a real game changer. And this particular condition is what catches the eye of collectors today. Let's talk about the black color shade. When we refer to a black shade coin, we're talking about a coin that has undergone environmental factors over time, such as oxidation or tarnishing. This process results in a darker, more unique appearance compared to the usual shiny or worn coins we often see. It gives the coin a distinct character, which, for collectors, is both mysterious and rare. Many collectors actually seek out these black shade versions because they're uncommon. They may be damaged or aged, but their unique look adds an element of intrigue. This particular coin, while showing signs of wear and toning, retains the clarity of the design, which makes it still highly collectible. Now, let's get into the good stuff, the value of this rare coin. The 1953D Monticello nickel is relatively common in average conditions, but finding one in the black shade adds a layer of rarity. This unique shade can make a significant difference in market value. In fine condition, a 1953D nickel might fetch you somewhere around $300,000 in the market, but when you're dealing with a coin that has that distinctive black shade, its value can skyrocket. We've seen similar rare coins go for over $400,000 or more, depending on the level of the black shade and its overall condition. Coins with this kind of unique toning are often classified as error coins or toned coins, which is why they appeal to certain buyers and collectors. The rarest examples of black-toned Jefferson nickels, especially those with a mint mark, have been known to fetch as much as $700,000 or higher in auctions. So, what makes this particular 1953D Monticello Jefferson nickel so valuable today? First off, it's all about the rarity of the black color shade condition, combined with the fact that it's still a Jefferson nickel, a coin highly sought after in the numismatic community. Additionally, it's the historical value and the significance of Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson, which adds another layer of appreciation for collectors. When you combine all of these factors, rarity, unique appearance, and historical significance, you've got a coin that's definitely worth your attention. If you've got your hands on a Monticello Jefferson nickel 1953D in black shade condition, you might be wondering where to buy or sell it. These types of coins are often sold through auction houses, specialized coin dealers, or even through online platforms like eBay, where collectors from all over the world gather. Just be sure to get your coin properly authenticated before selling or buying, especially with rare coins like these. Authenticating a coin's condition and verifying its rarity can have a major impact on its final market value. To wrap it up, the 1953D Monticello Jefferson nickel in black color shade condition is a prime example of how rare coins can captivate the interest of collectors. Whether you're looking to add it to your collection or sell it for a profit, this coin is sure to make a big impact in the market. So next time you're sorting through your change or hunting for rare finds, keep an eye out for this black-toned beauty. Next up, the 1953 Monticello Jefferson nickel. This coin, without a mint mark and in good condition, has surprised collectors with its increasing value. Stick around to find out why this seemingly common nickel could be worth much more than you'd expect. Now, let's talk about the 1953 Jefferson nickel. It's part of the Monticello series and, while it might not seem too special at first glance, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. The Monticello Jefferson nickel was first issued in 1938 and quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Its design, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the Monticello building on the reverse, pays tribute to Jefferson's legacy. But today, we're focusing on a 1953 issue, a coin that's catching the attention of collectors in a major way. The 1953 Jefferson nickel was produced without a mint mark in Philadelphia, which means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and that's the key to its rarity. You see, while most Jefferson nickels from this era were produced with mint marks indicating where they were made, this specific year 1953 is notable for the lack of a mint mark. So, why does that matter? Coins without a mint mark from Philadelphia are less common than those with a D or S mint mark, especially from certain years. The 1953 without a mint mark wasn't a special release or error coin, but it stands out in comparison to other Jefferson nickels produced in the same era. Alright, let's talk about the condition of the coin and its impact on value. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, and they can range from poor to mint state. For today's video, we're focusing on the good condition, which is often considered a lower grade compared to others like fine or extra fine, but don't let that fool you. In good condition, a coin may show a lot of wear, with details like the date or president's features being worn down. But despite this, the 1953 Jefferson nickel has held strong in value, thanks to its relative rarity and the demand from collectors who are interested in coins from specific years or those in particular conditions. Now, how much is this coin actually worth in today's market? In good condition, you might be looking at anywhere from $300,000 for a typical 1953 Jefferson nickel. But here's the kicker: as more collectors realize the rarity of this coin, its value has been climbing over the past few years. With the right buyer, it could fetch even more depending on demand, especially if it's in higher grades than good condition. Let's look at how the market has changed. Historically, coins from the 1950s, like the 1953 Jefferson nickel, weren't viewed as highly valuable. However, collectors and investors who focus on specific years or conditions have noticed the upward trend in prices. A nickel that used to go for a couple of dollars is now making waves for higher prices, especially for well-preserved pieces. To get a better understanding of this nickel's true potential, I spoke to a coin dealer about the value and collectability of the 1953 Jefferson nickel. The 1953 Jefferson nickel is a great example of how small factors like mint marks and condition can make a huge difference. While it's as rare as some other coins, its position in the market right now means it's becoming more desirable. For a collector looking to fill their album, it's a good piece to have, and it's definitely one worth watching for potential appreciation in value. So, as you can see, while the 1953 Jefferson nickel in good condition might not blow your mind with its worth right now, its value could increase over time. The rarity, along with growing collector interest, means it's definitely a coin to keep your eye on. To wrap it up, the 1953 Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark in good condition, might not be a high-value coin today, but it certainly has a growing presence in the market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, this coin is definitely one to keep in mind as you build your collection. Next up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1941, without a mint mark, and explore its significance, its rarity, and the impressive value it holds today in the market. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or just starting to build your collection, stick around because this rare piece of American history could be the next valuable coin in your collection. First, let's take a look at the 1941 Jefferson nickel. Produced by the United States Mint, this nickel is part of the classic series that was first introduced in 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. Unlike most coins, the 1941 Jefferson nickel came in two versions, those with a mint mark and those without. The mint marks, which indicate the mint facility where the coin was struck, are typically found on the reverse of the coin. However, in 1941, the Philadelphia Mint, being the primary mint for producing most coins, didn't place a mint mark on this issue. This is a detail that sets this coin apart. So, why is this coin so rare? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the Philadelphia Mint didn't add mint marks to most of its coins in 1941, while other mints, such as the Denver and San Francisco mints, marked their coins with a D or S respectively. The absence of a mint mark on the 1941 nickel makes it a distinct and rare version. But there's more to this rarity. This coin was made during a time when the US was preparing for World War II. The nickel was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, with no silver content, making it a little different from the wartime silver issues that would follow. The reason the 1941 without mint mark is rare today is because, while the Philadelphia Mint produced a large quantity of coins, the total number of these non-mint marked pieces that survived over the decades is relatively small. Over time, coins from circulation get worn down or damaged, meaning that only a few well-preserved examples exist today. Now, let's talk about condition. When it comes to coin values, the condition of the coin plays a huge role. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, with terms like good, very fine, and uncirculated being used to describe their level of preservation. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For a 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, if it's in good or very fine condition, meaning it's been in circulation for decades and has visible wear and damage, it's going to be valued at a more modest price. But if you have one in extra fine or uncirculated condition, where the coin is almost pristine with very little wear, the value increases dramatically. As of today, if you can find a 1941 Jefferson nickel in extra fine or uncirculated condition, you're looking at a market value of anywhere from $500,000. But wait, this is where things get even more interesting. For coins that have been professionally graded and certified, especially those with sharp, well-preserved features, the value can go even higher, sometimes reaching $600,000 or more. Now let's look at the market trends. The value of the 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark has steadily increased in recent years. This coin is becoming more sought after by collectors who are looking to complete their Jefferson nickel collections. It's part of a broader trend where collectors are focusing on coins with unique characteristics like the lack of a mint mark, because these coins provide a piece of American history that's harder to find today. Collectors are paying close attention to these types of rare coins, especially ones that show good craftsmanship and design details. The 1941 Jefferson nickel without mint mark is one of those pieces that can make a great addition to any collection, especially as the rarity of these coins only increases with time. Okay, so how do you know if you've got a 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in your collection? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Look for the 1941 date on the obverse side of the coin, which is in front of Jefferson's portrait. On the reverse, you should see the Monticello building. The key feature here is the absence of a mint mark. If it's a D or S mint mark, then it's not the one we're talking about. And as always, make sure to carefully check the condition of your coin. The more details, the better. If you think you might have a high-grade version of this coin, it's worth getting it professionally graded. To sum it up, the 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is a rare and valuable piece of American coinage, especially in high-grade condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, this coin could be a valuable addition to your collection. Keep an eye out for it, and you could be holding a piece of history that's worth more than its face value. Next up, the 1954 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. It might sound like just another coin from the 1950s, but trust me, this piece is anything but ordinary. Let's break it down. The Monticello Jefferson nickel was first released in 1938, featuring Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse and a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, on the reverse. The 1954 version of this coin continues the tradition with these classic designs. But here's where it gets interesting today. A 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is considered a rare and valuable find in the world of numismatics. So why is the 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark so special? In 1954, the U.S. Mint produced Jefferson nickels at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, it's important to note that the 1954 coin minted in Philadelphia did not have a mint mark, unlike the ones from Denver or San Francisco. When we look at the minting records, we can see that the Philadelphia Mint is responsible for the majority of nickels produced that year, and these coins don't carry any mint mark. But here's the kicker: the absence of a mint mark makes these coins more unique compared to the ones from the other mints, which had the D or S mark. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. The one we're featuring here is in circulation condition, which means it has seen its fair share of everyday use. There are noticeable signs of wear and tear, such as slight fading of the designs, wear on the edges, and general aging, but it still holds a lot of character. Although an uncirculated version of the coin would fetch a much higher price, even a circulation-grade 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark has substantial value today. Now, let's get to the most exciting part: the market value. If you're wondering how much this coin is worth, you'll be pleasantly surprised. As of today, a 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in circulation condition can sell anywhere between $60,000 depending on the coin's exact state. However, if the coin is in better condition, like a fine or extra fine grade, the value can rise up to $200,000 for or more. And if you manage to find one that's uncirculated, you could be looking at a value well over $700,000. Collectors love the 1954 Philadelphia Mint coin because of its rarity, especially when compared to the large quantities of other coins that were minted with the mint marks. With so many coins out there, you might be wondering what makes this one stand out. Well, coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare or limited production coins. The 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark stands out because, Unlike the coins from Denver and San Francisco, it's a more difficult find. Most Jefferson nickels from this year had the D or S mint marks, so the unmarked ones are considered more elusive. In fact, in auctions, you can sometimes see higher bids for these types of coins, especially if they are in better condition. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in your collection, it's definitely something worth holding onto. If you're on a mission to find one of these coins, it's time to start scouring through your spare change or hunting at local coin shops, estate sales, or coin shows. While they may not be the most common find, they are out there and they're worth the effort. And if you come across one in great condition, especially one without any significant damage, you could have a small treasure on your hands. So, to sum up, the 1954 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is a rare and valuable piece in today's coin market. Even if it's in circulation condition, it still holds value for collectors. If you're lucky enough to find one, especially in better condition, it could be worth quite a bit. Next up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel, minted in 1958. This nickel may not seem like much at first glance, but wait until you hear about its rarity and the market value it holds today, even in circulated condition. So grab your magnifying glass and let's explore why the 1958 Jefferson nickel is a big deal in the coin world. Let's begin with a little history. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag, and featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his historic Virginia home, on the reverse. Fast forward to 1958, and you've got a coin that remains a favorite among collectors to this day. This particular coin, the 1958 Jefferson nickel, was minted without a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The lack of a mint mark makes it somewhat unique compared to its contemporaries, as most coins from this period typically have a D or S mint mark, especially when looking at the later years of the 1950s. But what really sets the 1958 Jefferson nickel apart from other years? Well, for starters, it's the rarity in circulation condition. You may come across 1958 nickels in circulated form, but finding one in decent shape is a different story. This is because many of these coins were heavily used in everyday transactions. In circulated condition, this coin will show significant wear, such as flattened details on the design, a slight loss of luster, and the wear marks from years of handling. Despite its wear, it still holds value due to its age and the overall condition of the coin. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part, the market value. Even in circulated condition, the 1958 Jefferson nickel has seen impressive price increases over the years. While a typical nickel from this year is worth just 5 cents, the 1958 without mint mark is valued significantly higher due to its scarcity and the growing interest in collecting coins from the mid-20th century. In circulated condition, you can expect the 1958 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark to fetch anywhere from $20,000 depending on the specific wear and overall condition. But the true value of a coin is determined by its grade. A coin in fine or very fine condition will naturally be worth more than one that's heavily worn. Some 1958 Jefferson nickels, if found in exceptional condition, can even reach values upwards of $100,000 or more. This is why grading plays a crucial role when determining how much your coin might be worth. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. For the 1958 Jefferson nickel, a grade of fine or higher will see the coin fetch a higher market value. So if you happen to find a 1958 nickel in relatively good shape, you may be holding onto something valuable. So what should you do if you come across one of these coins? If you believe it's in good condition, it's worth holding onto and potentially having it professionally graded. Even if it's a little worn, don't let go of it too quickly. Coins like these appreciate in value over time, and as more collectors seek out pieces from the late 1950s, their value could continue to climb. Coins like the 1958 Jefferson nickel represent a fascinating piece of American history. Though it was once used in everyday life, now it's a sought-after collectible, prized for its rarity and unique position in the history of the United States Mint. To sum up, the 1958 Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark, in circulated condition, may not be a multi-thousand-dollar coin like some of the rarer varieties, but it holds significant value to the right collector. Its scarcity, historical significance, and steady appreciation make it a great find for coin collectors looking to build their collection. If you've got a 1958 Jefferson nickel in your pocket change, take a close look at it. You might be holding onto a rare piece of American coinage. And if you liked this video and want to learn more about rare coins and how to assess their value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from our channel. Thanks for watching.